Hello and welcome to Mutiny Motorsport Season 9, our F3 Brazil season. We're here today for the main feature race, what we've all been waiting for. We had a taster of the sprint race. We're at Sebring this weekend. We've already seen the track. It's been damp. It's been chaotic. People have learnt a few lessons from that. And now we're here again later in the day. It's now about 5 p.m. for the drivers. So they've got a little bit of the track's dried up a little bit. It's still the same bumpy old track that they've been used to though, and they have learnt some tricks that maybe have changed their cars a little bit, changed the fuel loads, and they're getting ready for a longer half-an-hour race now.
Yeah, coming off the back of the sprint race, drivers were able to get a good sense of where the overtaking zones might be, so looking forward to seeing that in the race. Qualifying saw Etienne Drupi take pole by the slimmest of margins over Titar. Shattered Compass bringing in third for the Mild 7 team. Jeff Hooton is a bit of a favorite for this season, coming in fourth. Then Renzo fifth, John D 6th, Dave C 7th, Daniel Gilligan 8th, Viltech 9th, Orange Boy 10th, Nate Delta 11th, Maxi 12th, Debug 13th, Broshin a surprising 14th, Stupidubi I believe 15th.
Yeah, it's been a challenging season. All those guys, or start to the season, I think, everyone's just still finding their feet. And this qualifying, they did set a reverse grid for sprint, but the qualifying sets the race order. So there's no top 10 reversals. There's no, if you finish here in the sprint, you start the race here. Qualifying is everything for the start of this race. So it's been the guys who started at the back in the sprint. We're actually on pole, and here they are now leading the pack as they come round halfway through this formation lap. So they might not have as much traffic in their way as they did in the sprint race, and those guys at the back now have all the traffic in their way, and that's the jeopardy of qualifying here this season.
Yeah, but you do get paid for performing in qualifying. Pole here is worth 2 points, so another reason to go for it, and struggle a little bit in sprint is worth it. Yeah,
that is it. And you can see the track is drier now. It's much drier on our forecast here. It's raised a little bit in temperature. Everyone gone for the dry tires. The sprint was chaotic. Most are on wet, some started on dries, but now we can see as they're ending the lap, they're just coming onto the start-finish straight. Sorry.
I think that was B Specialist off track a little bit.
Yeah, Specialist. He's taken the spot here of Peter, who's not made the first race just yet. He's taken up that second spot. He's brand new. He didn't even know that this was going to be the first track like everyone. As we're coming up down the start-finish straight, here's Droopy leading the pack.
They're about to cross the line.
Here. And here we go.
There it is.
Titar's got a great lead. Did he jump him off the start, though? As we see 3 wide in the middle.
It looks like Titar is going quite gently around the corner there just to allow Sandrupi to stay close. And there it is. He is letting him pass.
Yeah, he tucked right back up behind him as they're coming round. Halfway through the first lap already. You see Garrett and Specialist at the back. There's only 6 seconds. So the first half of the lap, everyone's stayed nice and smooth. No big incidents just yet.
Already moving up the pack, though, Brochin, I can see, he's gone from, I think, 14th to 9th in half of a lap.
He didn't enjoy this circuit in the sprint. He did say it was his least favorite of the season, so he's getting it out the way, but he's already found some time here.
Doing a good job getting it out of the way.
Yeah, he is. Making it through the pack cleanly. Here he is. Just followed by Old Boy, and then Maxi behind. Maxi did have a 10-second penalty from the sprint race for hitting TTR and taking him out. That was for a points-paying position for Titar. It was being lapped for Maxi, though, unfortunately. Here we are on board with Shattered Compass. Now into it says lap 3, but this is their second racing lap. The first lap is a warm-up lap. Here we go on board, braking for one of the slowest corners on the track here, next to the hairpin. As we see the two Marlboro guys side by side, the teammates Dan Gilligan and John.
They're touching wheels on that too.
They're touching wheels. They're finding out. This is going to be an awesome battle of who gets to be the team leader here. These two drivers, very skilled, very competent. As Dan tucks up in the wing, John side by side again. He's got it. He's going to brake. Yeah, John pulls in behind him. Thinks he'll fight that another day. As we see Brochen climbing back onto their tails, almost like as fast as he can. He's made great progress here. Oh, I see car number 17. If you look in the top right of the screen, we have the mini-map here. Car number 17, that's B Specialist, is way at the back. And we see Nate Delta, car number 18, just exiting the pit. So there might have been some contact there between them. That might be something the stewards are looking into.
There's a car off on the right also. That Flying Fortress straight.
We are on board with Old Boy. Just behind him, Max. Just in front of him, Brochen. Look how the cars are having to ride the bumps here. It depends if they've set up the car for like good mechanical grip on this track, or whether they're going for a little bit more speed down these two long straights.
It's a difficult balance because there's not too many overtaking areas.
Is that Orange? Is that him making a move there?
I think it is. On Stupid-Ubi.
Orange had a really good position in the sprint race, held his own and got, I think, 4th in the sprint race in the end, which is a really great result just off the podium, as he now has a look at debug. Thinks better of it.
Our top 5 at the moment are relatively unchanged. I think only Jeff has gotten past Shattered Compass for 3rd.
Oh, I think that's Brochen going off.
That was.
As he can get it, he kept the engine running, he kept going. Oh, as the Mercedes teammates touch. Oh no! I don't think Max needs that. He's already on the steward's watch list there.
Oh, that's a difficult corner to make an overtake on. So I have to wonder what happened.
Yeah. Oh, is that Garrett in the pits already? 57, 58 seconds. I wonder if this is a quick stop or whether he's got some big damage there. Let's watch B Specialist make his way round. On board with Renzo. Renzo set some quick laps in pre-season time trials. Here we are, 12th place, finding himself behind Max. He's going to find some of that speed. He'll have to find it in the next 15 minutes or so. 20 minutes or so, just to get in front here. He's in the last points playing position of 12th at the moment, so just grabbing 1 point at the moment.
Up closer to the front, I see that there are a couple of battles that are unfolding. You can see Jeff is very close to T-Tar, within a second. And that's for P2 right there. And just behind them, Shattered Compass, it looks to be just holding on to 4th place.
Yeah, Dave has been surprising. Did set in the pre-season test. You can see him set a pretty quick time. And then here again, right on the tail of Shattered, as we're watching. That's it. Dave go through on Shattered. It's going to be a fight. Shattered lives to fight another day and is holding on there. Just lets him through on the outside. Dave with some serious speed here. Just almost 8/10 quicker than Shattered on that last lap. So leaders in the 101s, Dave and Shattered in the 102s, 103s, and that seems to be for most of the pack there in the top 10, setting that kind of 103 pace. And if you look on the mini-map on the side, you can see that the back markers are already starting to be lapped here. They're on the tip of the shoe, as it were, at the old hairpin. Stupid-Ubi coming out onto the fastest point of the track now. Come down the straight. You can see they got skinny rear wings on these cars. There's not much downforce at all.
Oh, who's gone
wide there?
That's Maxi going very deep into the hairpin turn.
He was up into 10th there. He's lost a couple of places. It's not what he needs today. He needs a nice clean race. He needs to keep his head cool. Just focus on his lap times. midfield's starting to break away now. You can see 6th place down to 8th. That's Dan, John, and Old Boy starting to pull away from orange back. And then there's a lot of cars in close contention from about 10th place backwards.
I mean, points do go to 12th, so everything there is going to count.
Yeah, these guys fighting tooth and nail. The track's dry. They've got way more grip than they used to. They're on the slick tires now, so they're not going to be overheating like they were in the last race. As we see it, orange up into 9th now, slowly making his way through the field. He's got a lot of experience. One of the most experienced drivers here, used to just being just outside the podium, but has got lots of podiums to his name. Don't count him out here for climbing up the scoreboard. And he's used to hard battles. Orange has faced some of the toughest battles through the midfield and the mutiny, often being one of the drivers with the most overtakes or as well, just from having overtaken and then having to re-overtake in the pit stop phases in the last couple of seasons. Very experienced. So these guys around...
He's going to say he's not going to have the same opportunity to make overtakes in the pits for this season.
No. Yeah, no refueling. Well, you are allowed to refuel.
But there's no need.
There's no need. If you get the fuel right on the start, these guys will have to make some calculations. As we're watching Stupid Ubi and Renzo battle it out. Who's going to brake? Who's going to give up? Oh, Renzo gives him space. Stupid Ubi just can't make the move stick down the inside. Yeah, we're going back. No pitting this year, unless you make a mistake. These guys have got to make a calculation, though. They've got to make fuel calculations based on time and not laps, which is a whole new challenge for these guys in the mutiny. As we look to the front, Droopy started lap 10, 3 seconds ahead of TTR. There's a bit of a gap forming now, a bit of space in between the front runners. Jeff now 6 seconds behind the leader, Dave 9 seconds, and then Shattered 13 seconds. So the field's starting to spread now, except for this midfield battle. Here we go again.
Backmarker, there are these things called windows and mirrors. You know, they're both made of glass, but they're slightly different to one another. You've got mirrors, not windows, on the side of your car. Please use them.
That is escaping from Dan there to the backmarkers, feeling he's being impeded.
And as you say that, I think that was B Specialist making very clear room for Brochin in the fight behind.
Yeah, Brochin here making his way back up through the field. Oh, I think as Max touches the back of him. Oh, Brochin loses all traction. The car's right on the edge.
That is a Code Brown moment.
Maxi there. He needed to keep his nose clean, but his nose was right in the gearbox of Brochin there. I'm not sure that's what he needed from for the stewards to be looking again at his driving. Brochin, more work to do now. Came up the field, dropped down the field. Come up the field a little bit more, drop down. He's not having his best weekend here. He is Season 5 champion, though, or Season 6. In the 2003 cars. Very experienced, knows what he's doing. Struggling at this beginning of the season with these cars.
I have to feel safe.
Oh no, Droopy! Lap 12, about halfway into the race, already saying he has to fuel save. Calculations were not made in the John Player pit garage there.
How worth it can it be to underfuel, to try and get that little bit of extra lap time from carrying less weight, when you could just be safe, overfuel a little bit?
I mean, did that explain his pace advantage over the...
I think I'm going to be scraping it very fine with, I believe, about 1.5 litres by the end of the race.
Oh, old boy Bob as well, choosing the fine route of going low fuel. For Bobby, at the moment, he's up in 7th place. For Droopy, it's even more precious. He's lost a second now from his lead. That is heartbreaking. It might have explained some of the pace difference, though.
I think in a couple of laps, he's going to have T-Tar breathing down his neck.
I think so. His lap time already back, just creeping into the 102s. 102.4 for that lap. A couple of seconds later, 101.9. So half a second with fuel saving, if we can count that. Even with fuel saving, though, to be fair, he's matching Jeff's lap in 3rd. So that's the level of speed we're dealing with here. As we're on board with Orange, looking at Dan Gilligan in front. He feels like he was held up. I wonder if that's put him into the clutches of Orange's drive here. So earlier on in this race, John and Dan were side by side, but John's made up all the way up into 6th place now, an extra spot ahead, as Dan's getting pressured by Orange again. And this weekend, looks like Dan is struggling just a fraction more just to find his pace on this extremely bumpy track. Dan did say earlier at the end of the sprint race that he wanted to make amends for his last time out in the sprint. So taking all the lessons he's learnt there. So back on board with Maxi. Maxi got a lot of pace this race. Maxi, not again!
That's contact, but he's going to get away with it, I think. They're both still on the black stuff, facing the right direction.
Got to pick his braking points a little bit better. Both of them
very
here.
Close stuff. Renzo really feeling the pressure, I think.
Yeah.
You can see him taking the defensive line.
He is, and that starts to cost you time as Maxi gets a really good exit there side by side into the braking zone.
Oh,
And
that's
he
not
nicked
a
it
usual.
through.
That's not much of an overtaking opportunity, but he really made the most of it.
Yeah. Maxi feeling feisty here. He's got some pace and he's willing to use it. But he is on the steward's radar this race. I wonder if that's going to cost him. Comes back. Renzo fighting back right in the slipstream. Doesn't look like he has the top speed there to challenge him. As Maxi goes wide, Renzo's getting a better exit
all the
hit.
way down.
No, Maxi lives to fight another day. He's up at the front now. Droopy's picked up his pace a little bit, but the gap now to TTR is 1.7 seconds. So from the 3 seconds a bit it was earlier, he is losing time in the front running race. Here we go, back on board with Renzo. This is a great battle here. These guys fighting for 2 or 3 points in 10th and 11th spot here.
I think this battle really shows how a couple of mistakes can kind of either keep you from pulling the gap to the car behind or keep you in contention for an overtake.
That's exactly it. And I think that's the experience as we see just in front there. We've got the car of Orange starting to peel away from this group. It's 9 seconds ahead now, so the experience there of Orange starting to creep his way up the field, stay out of these little nitpicky battles that can cost you a lot of time if you're stuck with someone of a similar pace to you. So I see 2 cars now with a long way back in the race. B Specialist has pitted. I think he's retired from the race. And Garrett there, not having his finest weekend down in 17th, but staying in the race 2.5 minutes back. This is not the race he would have wanted right now. He is continuing on. So on board with.
This is, I think, Dave C.
Yeah,
following just
this is
behind
Dave.
Jeff.
Yes, Jeff. I was going to say, Jeff is not usual to see Jeff lose a little bit of time there. His gap's still 6 seconds to the leaders, so actually he's kept his time. It's Dave who's found all the pace. That is great speed here from the rookie. Dave showing no prisoners here, holding no prisoners.
We haven't seen much of Jeff on the broadcast. We're used to him just kind of taking a top spot in qualifying and marching on forward from there.
Yeah, really under pressure here. I think that's less than a second, like not a third of a second, maybe less, as they're coming down the main straight. Looks like Dave has got this car. Oh, as we see in the back, yeah, that's B Specialist parked on the side there. This is great from Dave and Jeff. Jeff got a wily experience here. Do not underestimate him. He is not a double world champion.
Yeah.
And it's another to pass. He does not take losing lightly. He's a phenomenal driver here. Heaps of experience.
Just goes to show what kind of speed Dave is bringing.
If you look up front, they're all lapping in similar times here. They're all in the 101s. TTR just dropped down into the 102s. That 102s is also 5th place Shattered. All the leading pack, top 7 there. All within a second of a lap of each other. It's just the gap falls back to Shattered Compass. Wonder what's happened. His pace was not like this earlier in the sprint race. Maybe carrying a little bit of damage there. He is tucked up underneath Jeff's rear wing and showing no mercy.
At the moment, Jeff can't put a foot wrong if he wants to keep third.
Yeah. Choosing a very similar line as we're watching Dan now. Orange goes through on Dan. We didn't get to see the whole move on camera, but Orange finally made the move stick. All of those years of experience now coming through. Up into 8th place. This has been a great weekend for Orange. Oh, as we watch Dan go really wide.
He keeps it together and pointing the right direction.
Yeah.
I was nervous for him.
Yeah, that is definitely another code brown like Borchin had earlier.
I think same corner too. It's a tricky one. That tower turn.
That is great piece of driving there to keep that on the roads. Breathe, Dan. There's no back markers in your way. Focus on what you need to get done. Is this going to be a back marker though for the battle between Jeff and Dave?
It is. I think that might be Viltec.
Might be Viltec in the way. As you see Borchin back up to 10th. Renzo into 11th past Max. Borchin's experience counting here as we see Dan in the pits. I wonder if he scared himself in that moment, or if he had a bit of damage we couldn't see. He sat there in the pits, falling back down the order.
Yeah, it's not looking good, Rev.
Oh, Droopy. All the fuel savings not helping him right now. Oh, as we see Renzo have a huge moment and taking out the 300 board.
Go get him, T-Tar.
Okay.
T-Tar, a quarter of a second behind. Could not be closer.
He is piling on the pressure now. Orange can see it. Orange trying to help him as T-Tar goes a bit wide there, now losing half a second in that moment. That's not the way you want to do it. You want to keep it on the racing line. Wait till this guy has to lift and coast. Don't make any silly moves. And this could be all yours. After a bad sprint where he got taken out, this might be the reprieve he's looking for. Oh, wide.
I think the opportunity could be getting to him a little bit.
Looks like it too. Jeff has grabbed the as Droopy slowed, the pack is starting to come to him. Jeff is now only 3 seconds behind the leader, so the front four all starting to concertina in together.
All within 4 seconds. Yeah.
This is getting close. Back on board with Dave. This is looking at Jeff, and you can see the leaders up ahead. I wonder if he's being... I feel like he's being held back if he's staying this close to Jeff the whole time in the dirty air. I think he's got more pace now. It's just getting past. Got only a few big braking points here. It is a tough track to overtake at. The exit, the hairpin. Coming around Fangio chicane up towards the start finish line. Lap 24. Tita goes around the outside.
Putting a wheel on the grass there. Really putting a lot of faith in the car.
He's hustling that car up the inside now. What's going on? Touches the curb. No! Oh, gets hit by Jeff.
It's collected.
Reverses out the way. I don't know. I think he's got damage from that contact with Jeff as Jeff now streams up to the back.
I'm not sure if I was looking at that wrong, but his steering didn't look straight when he was trying to get back on track.
No, I don't think it was on right. You're right. Falling down the order, he's fourth.
Oh, quickly falling.
Yeah, 15 seconds behind now. Something is wrong with that car. Shattered Compass is going to be coming across him about now. As we stay on board with Jeff. Oh, sorry, Dave. 3 seconds behind Droopy. Jeff is now 2 seconds behind Droopy. With the fuel saving that's going on up front, these guys have to be thinking they got a chance for the win here today. Shattered Compass up into fourth. Tita drifting down the field. 21 seconds now. 23. Something is wrong with that car. He is out of the race. Let's go back to the midfield battle here. We got Maxi.
Putting a lot of pressure on Brochin. Going around the outside.
This is not something we see every day.
It looks like Brochin braking very early.
Yeah. Oh, and still misses the corner. Brochin, super experienced, really struggling to find any speed in this car. He's got to be asking his teammate what he's doing right and what he is doing wrong as we see Tita into the pits.
He's a driver that's known for getting up to speed very quickly, not needing a ton of practice. So seeing late in the race mistakes like that is pretty rare.
Yeah, this is very uncommon. As we now see Stupid Ubi on his tail. Climbing up the field here. Max up into 8th, Renzo in 9th. So let's go through with not very... we only got a few minutes and then a lap remaining. So it's a 30-minute race plus 1 lap. We've got Droopy, followed by Jeff, Dave, and Shattered Compass. They are top 4. John up to 5th, Old Boy 6th, Orange 7th, Maxi in 8th. Renzo in 9th, Brochin and Stupid Ubi fighting out for 10th and 11th. Brochin just holding on at the moment. And just in the back there in 12th, the final points paying position is Debug. Oh, Stupid Ubi is thinking about it up the inside. Start lap 26, gets past, and Debug. No. That must be a back marker then. Brochin still in 11th, Debug still behind, sorry. My mistake. That must be Nate Delta then. Making his way past. Unlapping himself. That is unusual. I wonder if he's carrying some damage from the moments earlier with Maxi. As we're on board now.
I had 1 lap of fuel wrong.
Oh no, Debug. Also, he's in the pits. Oh. Not what you want to hear. Another fuel mistake from another team.
That's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking. That's 3 drivers now we're hearing with fuel errors as we see Droopy right under pressure from Jeff. Jeff takes... Oh! Momentarily, Jeff thought about taking the lead. He can't make any mistakes though. Dave's right on his tail. Droopy must be trying to sip fuel and run at the same time. Impossible.
Taking the defensive line and lifting way early, still keeping the nose ahead going into the corner.
Side by side in second and third place here. What can Droopy do?
Oh, all three for the podium.
Yeah, all three for the podium. We've just crossed the 30-minute mark, so it's now a whole lap after this, I believe. Oh, and so many back markers in the way. This is not what Droopy needs. Unbelievable. Less than half a second cover the top three, and they can't make their way through the blue flags. Even Borchin getting right out of the way for his teammate there. Onto the grass. It's Jeff. Goes in through the leads and takes the back marker. Oh, Droopy hits the back marker. Oh, Jeff is off.
And just like that, Droopy is shuffled down.
Oh, nice. It didn't refuel.
Oh, Debug. We're heartbroken for you.
I'm out of fuel.
No. As we're watching Droopy pull off on the side on the last lap.
He needed not even a full lap at that point.
Yeah, not even a full lap. Less than a liter of fuel he would have needed there. As Jeff continues to hold off Dave. Shattered Compass moving up into third place now. John into fourth. Oh, heartbroken for Droopy. What an amazing run weekend for Jeff here, as it looks like he's going to come round. He's only got one more corner to go. And he's going to take his second win of the day. I don't think Dave can get him 1 second behind.
And he does take it.
Jeff takes it, 2 wins. Dave second on the podium. Shattered up in third.
Consistently running a little bit behind and staying in the game.
This is all it takes, as we see John under tremendous pressure here from Old Boy in Orange. Orange taking the wide line, seeing if he can find something special in the last corner. Oh, it's so close here for fourth place. What an incredible drive from these three.
Do good racing, guys.
Dave,
Jeff
man,
sounding a little out of breath
you were
there.
flying there. Sorry for the fuel issue again, Droopy. I know you'll get us next time. You would have been gone if it wasn't for that.
There we go. What a race.
I think I would have been a little bit closer to the front if I didn't pick up damage on lap 1.
Oh, Shattered Compass with damage. It was right.
Some controversy in Mercedes, I tell ya.
Oh, and Debug not happy with today's goings on with the fuel. And let's take a look at the feature race results. Got Jeff Hooton in first, Dave in second, Shattered on the Compass. Got great points for them today. John, Old Boy, and Orange. The battle for fourth was really close, and everyone else from seventh down was a lap down. Stupidoobie, Brochen, Renzo, Maxi, Dan, and Viltec climbing up there in the final stages.
Rounding
into
out the
12th
points.
place. Yeah, and then Nate Delta, TTAR, Debug, Garrett, Droopy, and B Specialist. Droopy and B Specialist actually retiring from the race there. Droopy couldn't even make it with the fuel. And the driver standings.
T-Tar took the fastest lap there for squeaking an extra point.
That must have been earlier before the damage. And we've got Jeff, Dave, Shattered, Orange, Brochen, Droopy, John, Old Boy, Renzo, Renzo, Debug, Maxi, Dan, TTR, and Viltec all taking points this weekend. So that reverse sprint race really helping some of those guys at the back. And then almost every team but Vodafone scoring points here. But look at the lead West have. 2 wins, 1 fastest lap, thanks to Jeff. And then John Player second. Droopy could have easily gave them way more points there if he'd fueled up the car. HP in third. Rothman's fourth there. TTR not helping with his incidents there. Mild 7 in 5th, Marlboro in 6th, Parmalat in 9th, BMW Petronas. Thank you so much for joining us today for the feature race.
See you next time.